Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Chair Yoga. I'm broadcasting. How's that for a word? I'm broadcasting from Sarasota, Florida, which just feels fantastic for me. This was my home for 7 years, and I loved it here. So it's just wonderful and quite a blessing to be back. And I have a wonderful space in which to offer this class. So I hope it'll work well because it's just perfect as far as my spatial needs. So hope you're enjoying it from your end. So let's begin by just transitioning. So however it is you find yourself, maybe in your chair now, that you're just going to sit up taller, get a little stronger, and more intentional about the way you're holding your body. So we can do the transition. It really does take an effort to move into yoga so that you feel like you're fully committed to it, fully participating in it. That takes a little change of gears. So take a moment now to take a deep breath, start to, again, make yourself more aware of how you're holding your body. And do whatever you need to do. I visited with a woman here locally who was telling me how she missed having music as part of the yoga experience. And my tip is you can still have it at your end. I have not found a successful way for it to transmit through this Zoom experience so that we're not listening to the same music, but you could certainly, I would guess, have music playing in your own space. So if you're one that also kind of misses the having the music as part of your yoga background, you know, maybe next time you could just take care of that on your end, or if you have time right now, go ahead and do it so that you can listen to that. So in our transition, we can sometimes find the sound, that music, as an anchor, as a way to just start listening to that, tune in on a sensory perception to the sound of the room. And that's a great way to anchor yourself into this present moment. Again, take as many deep breaths as you need to sort of feel like you're caught up with your breath and that it has moved into a deeper space in your body. You're breathing a more full breath deep into the belly. That is such a simple thing. It's such a simple direction, but it is absolutely powerful and absolutely reliable. That changes gears. That helps you to change gears every time. So whether that be that you're in a traffic jam or you're frustrated by something that's going on at the grocery store, I mean, wherever it might be, you can take a deeper breath and get a new perspective. So let's just remind ourselves of that. And I'm just going to begin. If everyone now, I'm hoping you have your eyes closed so that you're really imagining, this inner view. You're taking yourself into an inside perspective of yourself and of your experience right now. How it feels in your body is a great way to begin. You don't have to have some kind of thought like, I wonder if I'm supposed to be thinking a certain way, or if there's certain levels of, uh, you know, um, access to certain realms of understanding, and that kind of ethereal understanding we can get caught up in. Start with your body. Just simply, how does your body feel? How you feel in your gut? How does your bottom feel on that chair? What's been going on? Have you had any sort of headaches? You might be feeling tired. Just how do you feel physically is a great way to come into this inner view. We don't always recognize that experience as being worth our effort to tune into it, to, just as a loving act that we, are just paying attention to how we actually feel. And again, keep lifting, keep allowing yourself, as you're exploring in different ways, to lift and lengthen and sit tall and strong. Feel your feet grounded to the floor. And see if you can find the rhythm of your breath and try to stay with your awareness of that breath through the full inhale and the full exhalation. If you can breathe in and out through your nose, I would recommend that. If that's not possible, doesn't feel comfortable, it's just not the way you breathe a way that you can absolutely stay tuned in. You're not going to fret about it. You're going to be at ease with your breathing. And what I want to remind us is this. We come to yoga, and I'm borrowing again from Deepak Chopra's ideas about this, that we come to yoga with sort of these four pillars of as part of our expectation for the yoga practice. Those pillars are a more vibrant and healthy body, an alert and focused mind, a loving and compassionate heart, and lightness of being. So it's a way, yoga is a practice for self-care, every aspect of yourself, mind, body, and soul. That's what yoga gives us. Self-care in every aspect of ourselves. Take a moment now, turn your palms up. I just love that gesture of receiving. So flip your hands so the palms are open on your lap and set your particular intention for class today. Good. And then and so it is. You kind of just let your exhale kind of have the words, and so it is. And we can let go of that intention. We don't have to give it another thought. We have created it. And I want you to take your block now and bring it between your thighs. And make sure you feel like the distance you've created between your thighs with that block is the same distance you have between your ankles. So I don't want to see, I don't want people to just hold the block for the sake of that, but that you're aligning your legs. That's the beauty of using the block. So we're aligning our legs properly. And then there's just a subtle engagement of the leg muscles by virtue of, having to hold onto the block so it doesn't drop. Let's pull in the belly so we can feel the strength of our abdominal wall. And pull your shoulder blades back and down. We're going to start with shoulder rolls. So I want you to just let your shoulder blades move as you let your arms lift up, back, and down. So those shoulder rolls will start to bring us into the depth of our body. Start to feel the rhythm of your movement and how that relates to your breathing. Keep your arms close to your sides. That will just isolate the movement, kind of direct the movement, particularly into the shoulder blades, into those shoulder rolls. Now let's do one shoulder at a time, so a little more coordinated effort. Just one shoulder at a time rolls back the very same direction you were doing. And this time with that individual shoulder movement, let your head turn. If that feels natural to you to let that shoulder, kind of turn your head so you can feel this experience into the neck, I would invite that in if I were you. Just invite the movement of the head and neck because the head and neck are so related to the shoulders. One more on each shoulder. And then come back to neutral and let's just squeeze, kind of hunch up and release. So squeeze those shoulders up and release. One more squeeze, 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 and release. And let's extend those arms all the way around so palms are up and overhead. Let's take a big inhale together. Exhale, let's bow into our heart space. Inhale back up. Exhale, come all the way around. Now, we're going to do a couple more of those movements of the arms like that circle sweep backstroke kind of movement. But see if you can feel the lift of your rib cage. So it's not all about the movement of the arms, but that you can feel your rib cage lifting and expanding. Lifting and expanding through the rib cage. One more time. And when we come out of that, let's land in the goddess position, the elbows bent, palms facing forward, and try to keep your elbows at the height of your armpits. Take a moment now to just turn your head to look from one side to the other, just feeling the shoulder neck connection, feeling your range of movement in the head and neck now as you hold your arms into this goddess position. Deepen the breath back to the fullness of your breath. It's just for a good stretch, a good, range of motion. We're just moving into to discover our range of motion. But I'll meet you in the middle here, and we're going to just take a in and out or an open and closed posture. So inhale, open like this as we are. Exhale, close it by bringing your elbows and your forearms together. So just keep your movement as a vinyasa. Inhale is the open experience. And remember, I'm hoping you're feeling some of this in your rib cage too. It's not just moving with the arms and shoulders, but you can feel some expansion through the rib cage. Remember, you don't need to keep in sync with my movement. You're in sync with your breath. So you get the idea. I'm always trying to keep you away from trying to make the looking at the screen being your primary objective. You stay with your body. You stay with what you're experiencing in the chair. Let's close it up now and bring that to a crunch experience. So I'm going to have you just interlace your hands. So it kind of binds our hands and arms together by just interlacing those fingers. Inhale, lift your elbows as far as they'll go, and exhale, touch that block that's between your thighs. So right through the midline, moving up and down. Little crunch action. So it's strengthening that abdominal wall. Soften your mouth. Wherever there might be tension that you can just sort of discover, like, oh, I don't need that. That's not useful. Just be aware that creeps up sometimes, where you start gripping or holding tension somewhere. And just be gentle with yourself and let it go. I hope you're inviting a bit of a back bend here. I want you to see how much room you're able to give a back bend experience, where you're letting maybe you're letting your chin lift up. Let's do just a few more. Exhale completely as you fold down. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale as you round down. Beautiful. Let's come back up into that goddess position with elbows bent, and let's drop those hands down so you've got your elbows up. It's a little awkward. Take a moment now to feel if you can settle into that experience of your shoulders and upper arms. And then very slowly release all the way down so you feel the shift. You feel the movement from awkward and kind of efforting to releasing, relaxing, effortless. Beautiful. Inhale again, palms are together up and overhead. Exhale as you bow to your heart. Inhale up and exhale all the way around. Let's take that block now and just move it under the chair, but you still feel how it has aligned your legs. And we're going to use that as we hold on to the chair. Lift up bring your foot up off the floor, bent knee, and you're just lifting up. If you need to scoot yourself around on the chair so you have better access to do that, just remember that's what you're going to do. You're just going to kind of realign, scoot forward a little bit. Now, if you're able to do it without holding onto the chair, that's going to strengthen your abs a little bit. That's going to give you some more fundamental core strength. So hands at the waist could be an option for some of us. Holding onto the chair is perfectly fine. If that's what your low back, perhaps your low back might need that extra support. We'll have both feet at the floor, take a little pause, and then we're going to move into the legs a little differently now. So instead of bent knees, it's a straight leg out, coming back, straight leg out. If you need to hold the chair, maybe this is different and it takes a little more strength of the low back, and now you're going to get a little strength. You're going to get a little more support by holding onto the chair. So that's an option you just want to maybe play with a little bit, see what works better for you. Can you feel how your chest cavity is just really elevated? You're lifting, lengthening, expanding in the chest cavity, even as your legs are doing this movement. One more on each leg, and then both feet to the floor. Take a little pause. We're going to step that left leg out. Just step the left leg away from center. So your legs are shaped the same, that kind of a right angle that you've created, but you're going to move off center. I want you to lean your forearm and elbow into that leg that you extended away from center now. And then you're sort of lining up your ear with the way your elbow is, or where your elbow is placed on your thigh. See if you can lift up right past your ear. And the action here, and I've got a mitten hand on, so I like to be intentional about the way the hand is held. You don't have to hold it the way I suggest, but I want you to hold it in a way that was intentional for you. And then we're lifting through the rib cage. It's like you're trying to lift up and expand a little bit from underarm down through into the hip. That area, that part of your rib cage is lifting and expanding. And let's come back to center and take a moment here as a variation. What about the block instead of elbow to the thigh? Let's try that. Hand on the block at whatever level you decide you want to try it. And I'm just, I put it in front of my ankle at first, and I think, no, I think I like it better behind it. So that's something else that you might play with, how you're going to use that block. And if this is a better way for you to do this, called an extended angle, variation of a warrior type thing, see what works best for you. I imagine there's some people out there that could touch the floor here. They're not using a block. They could just bring their hand right to the ground. Expanding through your rib cage, ear, you're shining your ear, kind of facing your thigh. So your head is held in a very neutral and supportive way. And let's come all the way up, all the way up, all the way to your neutral position. We're going to switch sides. I'm going to just move my block here, centering now on your left leg and letting your right leg extend away from center. Like I said, both legs are shaped the same. You're oriented toward the front though, so you're not going to start turning your body toward that other leg. Keep your shoulders and your hips in alignment, orienting toward the front from the chair. We'll start with that elbow and forearm and just feel how that starts. Let's pull that shoulder blade back. So get that top shoulder blade to come on back. Let's deepen into the breath and extend past your ear. And then lift and expand in your rib cage. Be intentional about the way you're holding both hands. Both hands have a particular intentional way that you're holding them. Exhale completely. Take a big circle, sweep of the arm. If there's any reset your body needs, do that. And then let's deepen a little bit. Let's just offer this alternative of using the block. So it could be in front, it could be behind your leg. So whatever gives you the access you're looking for. Let's pull that shoulder blade. And balance. I'm just, what I do is I put words to what you're experiencing, I hope, because I'm just speaking to what I'm feeling. So I'm trying to balance in my pelvis. I don't want to list up. I want to keep my pelvis really grounded into the chair seat. Feel your feet to the earth as well. Maybe pull your hand back. So it's past your ear, but it's almost toward the back of your head. Any amount, any tiny amount, you're going to feel a difference. Now deepen the breath. Beautiful. And then let's take a circle sweep to lift us up. Your arm just kind of carries your body upright. And when we come back to our center position, we're going to have our legs in the goddess position too. So those knees are open wide, heels in, toes pointing out. Let's find that shape of the goddess arms now. Now I want you to just start dancing a little bit. This is the dancing goddess. So you're going to just feel yourself lifting a little bit. One butt cheek comes off the chair a little bit, and you're just moving side to side. Maybe there's some circular movement here. So that's a dancing goddess. Lots of fluid movement here. Beautiful. Let's bring your hands to the shoulders now and just center yourself. Make sure you're back to a place of right alignment in your pelvis. And we're going to just tip on down to let elbow come to the outside of our thigh or knee area. See if you can find a rhythm now, rhythm of movement and breath. We want to deepen every chance we get. Remind yourself deeper breaths. Get into the belly with that experience of breath. I'm going to introduce a crisscross. If you're finding as you crisscross that you need to get your legs a little closer together to make that happen, just make that adjustment. Crisscross now gives us more of the oblique part, the oblique muscles, that part of the abdominal wall. Twisting action. So twisting action always benefits the organs of digestion. So it's not on the surface level of our body that yoga benefits us. It's the organs and the blood flow, you name it. Every part of the function of our body is improved with this practice. One more on each side. Just give it one more tap each side. And we're going to come back to our goddess. Take a moment now to close your eyes and just think of this wide open through your rib cage, expanding through your chest. Feel your hips in their open and spacious place. Knees are drawn open. Feel your feet to the earth. And can you invite in that sensation of openness and spaciousness in your body held in this way? It could be considered a very vulnerable way to be holding your body. See if you can feel the open, spacious, yet safe and fully aware of your own personal agency here and now. Let's do a little open and close now. As you open your eyes back up, the open and close is going to be a little challenging because we're going to do both the arms and the legs. So there's a little rocking involved. So as we inhale here, open, close it as you bring legs and arms together. So your body will have to sort of rock a little bit to make that happen. So we're opening and closing toward the midline. Excellent. We're going to meet with closed in. So our legs are together, our arms are together. We're going to do a little more of that crunching. Again, you might interlace your fingers. It binds your hands together. It just makes it a little bit easier to keep your arms and hands connected. It's not necessary. It's just kind of a tip. Binding the hands is kind of useful. And here we go up and down now. See if you can introduce the back bend. As you lift those elbows up, you can feel and invite a little back bend. Maybe your face lifts up toward the ceiling. Squeeze your legs just enough that they feel very connected. You can feel the touch, one leg to the other, and feel your feet to the floor. Good, let's meet in the middle here. Just take a little moment for a reset. And let's do a little twist. I want you to take your right elbow and bring it across your body to the outside of your left leg. So let's just kind of pattern that. You're just bringing that elbow to the outside. And then palms can come together. Elbows then stack. You've got your palms pressing to each other. Your elbows are stacked and they're kind of in that particular bent position. Now turning your head so your ear is facing your knees. And find your seated twist here. Making good connection with your hand to hand and squeezing those legs together. Let's come back up. Let's keep our hands and the arms in the same position that they're going to go to on the other side. Let's see if we can create it over here now that we've got a little practice. Bringing the other elbow to the outside of your knee and thigh, rotating your body the other way. So you want to shine your ear down towards your knees. Pay attention to how your head and neck are feeling. Make your adjustments. Find your full breath in and full breath out. Beautiful. Let's unwind and come back to center. And we're going to open up into a wider stance now. Elbows are close to the side body. I want you to come forward. I'll give you a side view so you'll be reminded what I'm taking you into, something you're very familiar with. We do it all the time. We're bringing ourselves into that half lift. So we're not in a complete fold. We're just kind of halfway up. Let's use this as an opportunity to work our perineum. So as you press your hands into your thighs, you're going to let every inhale pull up through the floor of the pelvis, lift and hold, retain that tension into the perineum, and then relax on every exhale, soften and relax. So every inhale is a place of strength and holding and toning. Every exhale gives you a chance to take a little breather and go back for more. No strain in the neck, so just manage how you're holding that heavy head of yours. That halfway diagonal line of the spine is what I always give as a guideline. Retention, remember that holding and retaining that constriction of the perineum is what's toning us. So if you can offer yourself a little more retention, that is a good effort. And can you feel it in your inner thighs? Be aware that lifting and toning, you can feel that all the way up through your inner thighs. So you're really aware of all the musculature that's associated with that core strength. And the yoga language here is the Mula Bandha. Two more, stay with it, 2 more times, toning and retaining and softening to release. Now hold yourself in a strong position now. Maybe you are continuing to tone, maybe not. Let's just extend the arms away from center now. So bring your arms out in front of you now. Really push into your legs. See, can you reach forward, forward, forward? Pay attention how this feels in your low back, head, neck, and spine in alignment. So you're really feeling the strength of your legs, the strength of your thigh muscles. Now palms come together in that position we did in our twisting action. Same thing, palms together, elbows out. See if you can find a twist here. Exhale completely. Come back to center. Set it up for the other side. Find your twist. Pay attention to how you're holding your head, neck, and spine as best you can in alignment. Strong thighs. Let's come back to center. Keep your palms together as you bring yourself up, all the way up to our neutral position. Inhale with me. Palms are together overhead. Exhale, bow to your heart. Inhale up and exhale, take a big backstroke to come out. Now again, a little tipping, a little rocking. I want you to rock yourself back so you can get your feet off the floor, come forward and back, lift up, get your feet a little higher. You can do this by holding onto your legs or not. Maybe you just want to use the strength of your legs. This is eventually going to let us rock and roll ourselves all the way to standing, all the way up. I'm going to encourage you to get your block again and use it to align for our mountain pose. Right between the thighs like we did. Straighten out your feet. You want your feet parallel to each other now. Deepen the breath. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Let me get a little further back. And from here, let's come into, as we open our eyes again and just find our centering here now in our mountain pose. Remember, there's a softness of the knee, just a micro bend there. Everything else feels super active, super strong. I want you to extend your arms into a T position, palms facing up. So you got to rotate your arms in such a way that your thumb can point behind you. And again, take that look, turn your head to look from one hand to the other. Give the block a little squeeze so you can be reminded that you want to hold on to your core strength. And then when you bring your arms together, we're going to just one arm on top one. It doesn't matter how you do it, but just remember which arm is on top. And we're going to come into what's called eagle arms. So you just cross over at the elbows bend, and then see if you can weave your hands together in some way. Fingers and palms in some way come together. Find a little squatting action. Now, I've moved myself completely away from the chair. You may not need to do that. Maybe you would rather be pretty close to the chair where you've got access to the touch of that. But we're going to see if we can do what we've been working on, but from a standing position. So now we're bringing those elbows down as we kind of squat down and do our crunches now, bringing elbows to meet that block, up and down. A little bit of a squatting action so you really feel the strength of your legs, your thighs particularly. Stay with the fullness of your breath. Take your time with it so you can feel the rhythm return. Excellent. Let's come back up. Just take a big backstroke to, come out of that. Maybe some shoulder rolls, some movements of the head. And when we do it the other side, where we cross over the other way, I can't guarantee you that I am crossing over, just full disclosure here, but I hope you did. I hope you paid attention. This time it's going to be holding. So instead of just the up and down movement, I want you to find that little squatting action. Keep your forearms pulling away from your face, away from your chest, and just hold the squatting action. This is the eagle pose in its simplest form. Now, what you might do for a little more challenge is get your heel, one heel can come up. So you're pressing into the ball of the foot instead on one foot. And then you drop that heel and you let the other heel come up. Both heels down. Let's do it again. One side, the heel lifts up. We drop it down, and the other side, the heel lifts up. Both heels down. Now lift yourself up out of that squat and lift all the way up and around, all the way around. Let's get a hold of our block now. And let it just pull us side to side. Let's get a little wider stance. I got to check my time here. Just side to side movements. I like the way the block just kind of carries us. There's just sort of some order that it gives, which I kind of like sometimes. And then notice how your feet move to accommodate that. You're going to want to encourage a soft buoyancy of the knees here. Good. And then let's come up where the arms are up and overhead, and we're just going to bend to the side. Try to keeping your palms holding on to that block. It's just going to keep your arms in a nice parallel position. Use your ear as a guide. You're going to squeeze your upper arms towards your ears. Soft bend of the knee. And then see if there's any more movement, any more bend available. Could you deepen it any amount? That's it. And then come back up to center. Take a breather. Maybe there's a reset your body needs. And eventually you're going to make your way to the other side. Soften the knees. Upper arms are squeezing towards your ears. And your arms are held in good alignment because of the block. See if there's any more movement toward a bend. Any deepening available. All the way up. Now here's where we can straighten the legs out. They can be straight here. Full body stretch. And then let's return the block. Maybe it could just be on your chair or on the floor, wherever. So we're not going to need it right now. Let's now just turn to the use of the chair's back so we can stretch out in our very familiar extended forward fold. So hands are touching the back of the chair. You're creating that L shape with your body, flattening out the back, softly bending the knees. I want you to feel the compression of your foot to the floor, not just your heel, the whole foot. I want you to feel your toes. So you're really allowing your body weight to be distributed in the full surface of both feet. Deepen the breath. Tuck your chin in towards your throat. We have a tendency to lead with your chin, and your chin juts out away from the body. Tuck it in towards your throat so the back of the head, neck, and spine are in alignment. And really, you've moved so that your head is in a place of right alignment in its entirety. I want you to walk the dog. That means one heel at a time is going to lift. You're going to roll onto the ball of foot and let the heel, so it's like you're putting your Barbie shoes on. You're going to lift way up into that shape. Walking the dog while you keep the length of your spine. You keep that flat kind of tabletop back, but we're walking the dog. So we can feel a little different action in our ankles and in our feet. Excellent. Both heels up now, onto the toes. Both heels up, hold it, and drop both heels down. Let's do it again. Both heels up, onto the ball of the foot and the toes. Both heels down. Let's start walking toward the chair. When you come toward the chair, I want you to take a little wider stance so you can use the chair now to support your squat. Everybody's going to be different. Sometimes your squat is a little higher up. You've got your pelvis in, your squat is about up here somewhere. Sometimes you can drop the tailbone deeper. So I want you to just play with your squat. So you're stretching into those legs. Hold, let the chair help you in any way it can. Heels in, toes are pointing away from center. Let's come all the way up and just keep your legs just in that very position. Take a pause. I'm going to turn towards you. I hope you don't have to turn at all. I want you to see, but you don't have to turn at all. Keep using your chair. And let's find that goddess again. We're going to have our arms open up into that bent elbow, hands facing forward. And as you come into your squat, see if you can find the dancing goddess. Now, if you can accomplish a squat much better, much safer for you, if you've got your hand on the chair, then just do it. Just do that, just maybe alternate one hand to the chair and then use the other one as you're dancing that goddess. Let's come all the way up, all the way up. Palms come together overhead. Exhale, bow to your heart. Inhale up, exhale all the way around, and let's try our downward facing dog. So when we come to our chair now, we're using the seat of the chair. Palms will come to the seat of the chair. Everybody's familiar. So you start stepping away. Bend and straighten, set yourself up. Maybe you start with your feet a little further apart, and then you finally work your way into bringing your feet more hips distance apart. Tuck the chin in towards your throat so you can feel that long line of the back of your head as it aligns with the spine all the way down to the tailbone. Deepen the breath. Feel the breath in your belly. And let's start walking toward the chair. When you come to the chair, we're going to find tabletop. So we've come close enough to the chair now. Our shoulders are right above our hands that are on the chair. So our back is the table's top. Our arms are table legs. Our legs are also table legs. Let's get into the hip a little bit as we bend the knee and pull it away from center and draw some circles here. Turn to look at that, or just keep your head positioned in a way where you're looking at the chair seat. Whatever's best for your head with your neck. So finding your drishti. Change the direction of the circular movement at least once. Both feet to the floor. Let's take a moment now. Bend your knees and bring yourself up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Find your mountain pose. Connect with your breath. Catch up with your breath. Maybe you need a good cleansing breath or two here. Let's get the other leg. So we come back, the other hip as we come back to our tabletop position. Other leg now, knee bends and we extend it away from center and we're drawing a circle with that bent knee. And we may or may not look over in that direction. It depends on what your neck needs. Be sure to change the direction of your circular movement at least once. And the number of circles is up to you, the challenge you want to give your body. Beautiful. Both feet to the floor. Start stepping back, back, back to your downward dog. Pull the buttocks back. Pull the buttocks back so you can feel the stretch into the hamstrings and to the muscles that is your buttocks. We need to keep all of that stretched so our hips are healthy and strong and functioning well. When you're ready, start walking toward the chair. Bend your knees a little bit. Roll up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Find your mountain pose. And let's just take a moment now to close the eyes and connect with our breath as we breathe all the way in and all the way out. This is a wonderful time to start noticing the experience of prana in your body, that sense of aliveness that you're experiencing. Eyes closed is just my suggestion so that you can stay very intimate with your breath. And feel the experience of prana. One more full breath in and out. Let's flutter the eyes open. And I want you to position yourself near your chair, your standing leg, the root of your tree. So then we're moving into a tree position or a tree posture. So the standing leg is the root of the tree, the trunk of the tree, and that should be near the chair. Let's take the other heel, the leg that is going to be one of your tree's branches here, as we just lift that heel up and rotate the knee away from center. So your foot, for most of us, I think it's safest to just keep that sole of the foot in the inner ankle area. Some of you I know can come up into the inner part of your calf, but I'm going to just illustrate and kind of use that as my demonstration. Inner ankle, I think, will suit many of us. But the knees definitely is coming away from center. You've externally rotated that hip. Get real tall and strong on that standing leg, the tree's trunk. Find a drishti. Let your eyes focus on something. And then start to wean yourself from the use of the chair for support. And maybe your practice is that you always use the chair for support because it's safer for you. So by all means, that's the method that you'll be doing. Traditionally, our arms become the branches of the tree. So they can be expressed in any way. I'm kind of a fate in using the goddess structure today. So that's the one I'm choosing. Can you feel prana now? Can you allow yourself the awareness of prana as you hold yourself in tree pose? You know, that life force is pulsing through the trees in our neighborhood. We can feel it in our body too. And then slowly come out of the pose very mindfully so you can feel your body relax out of it and you can feel yourself return to this neutral position. So we want to position ourselves now for the other leg to become the tree trunk, to become the tree's roots. Pop your heel up off the floor, rotate the knee away from center now. Standing leg continues to root and grow stronger and maybe longer, pulling the other bent knee now away from center. However it is you express this posture. There's a few varieties you could use. Find your drishti, find your focal point with your eyes, and then express the branches of those trees, of the tree that you're creating. Full breath in, full breath out. Can you feel the prana on this tree? Strong belly. Don't forget to exhale completely. Try 2 more breaths. Make your emphasis be the full exhalation. Good. And then when we come out of it, it's going to be very slow and mindful as we bring our feet back to the floor, our arms back to our sides. And I want you to shake your legs out. Give them a good shake. Little more balancing here. I'm going to hold on to the chair. I've got the chair right by me. So let's take a high knee up. And as we do it, we can slip our hand underneath our thigh. We want to just get into the ankle now. Moving that foot that's up in the air, just move around. Maybe you spread your toes a little. Hug that knee way up high, real flex foot, and then come all the way down. We're going to go to the other side. Lift up, hold on. It's just moving through the ankle. Spread toes. And hug that knee way up into the chest. Real flexed foot. And then both feet to the floor. Let's finish up with some tapping. I want you to just open up your feet a little wider. And then let's start by tapping along the top of our arm, all the way down into the hand and to the fingers. So tap, tap, tap. And then flip it so you're into the underside. And you go down to the palm of the hand and all the way up and down. And now let's stay with the neck. And let's bring ourselves over to the other side. So start with top of the arm, palm is down, and we're using the full length of the arm now for taps. This changes. This is our way of, I want to hit all aspects of ourselves. This is the energy body that we're really finding connection to. We flip now, so we're on the underside of the arm, and it's all the way down to the palm and into the fingers, the whole deal. And then up into the neck. Now, when you're here, I want you to just cross over. So you're just kind of tapping around your neck and collarbone area. And then at the sternum, that's that chest bone. Into the belly, nice soft touch with your fingers, just all through your organs of digestion, tapping. Soften the knees now. Let's go down the top to the front part of our legs, all the way down to our ankles and feet. Just use your imagination. You're trying to tap away through all the surfaces of your legs, arms. So I'm going all around to the back, kind of staying down low while I'm here, and tapping, tapping, tapping. Make your way up when you're ready. And we're going to crisscross those arms so we're really tapping under our armpits. And it's kind of like a slapping action. You've got a little more ability to kind of give it a good tap with your hands instead of just your fingertips. And now finally, we're at the very center of the forehead, just a gentle touch. Temples, under the eyes, so you're on your cheekbones, under the eyes, under your nose, just on top of the lip there, and then on your chin. And finally, we're going to finish it up all around the collarbone area. Beautiful. All right, let's have a seat. This is time for Shavasana. So some of you who are watching often use a second chair. You grab a second chair to prop up your legs. So this would be your time. And if you do that, that would be people probably on YouTube with me. Pause the video so that you have time to set it up and you won't miss out on any part of the guiding, the guided practice. So find your way into your chair, sit back and relax. Close your eyes, get all the comforts that you like to use. You don't need to wait for my invitation to do that. So if you like to get a blanket or you like to put yourself into a recliner, all of those things, whatever may be available to you, now's the time. Close your eyes as soon as you feel ready for that, but it's very important that we come into that more intimate experience again. We close the eyes and we connect to the breath and the inner world of our body. Again, I'll invite you to take notice of prana, of the experience of aliveness that you might be feeling because of the movement we did. All of that is connected to those four pillars. All the movement we did, the connection with our breath, the awareness of prana, that all comes together in a beautiful correlation of those four pillars. And I'll remind you again. Vibrant and healthy body, an alert and focused mind, loving and compassionate heart, lightness of being. Let the chair hold you. Let the chair be as much support as possible so that you can really give yourself to it. This is so valuable. It's every bit as valuable as doing the abdominal workouts that we do. It's every bit as valuable as the balancing that we do. Finding your way into a place of total surrender. This is an invitation to understand and really experience lightness of being. A good anchor to keep you focused with your mind, because your mind will want to wander. We're now toward the very end of class, and we've got things to do. I understand how that goes. But I want you to give yourself the gift of staying focused and alert to the present moment and using the techniques, just using the techniques that help you with that. And breath awareness is one of them. Mantra is one of them. And my favorite is just the simplicity of breathing in and saying in and breathing out and saying out. So you're just mentally connecting to in and out. It's just a technique, but it's very useful. It's very quieting, coming into lightness of being. Relax your jaw, soften your tongue. You want to feel soft in your face. I'm going to just stick with today's reading. I'm such a big fan of this book that I could read every one of the readings I've read so far this year to you. But just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to just trust that today's reading, January 10th, is the one for us today. The title is Value Your Passion. For too long, we have wrongly judged our passion for living, our vitality and zest for places, people, things, and ideas. I shouldn't have what I want. I shouldn't say what I like. I shouldn't get too excited. What helps us come to life? What takes us out of emotions and into our emotions? What connects us to the energy of life, the energy of love, the energy of the life force that permeates us all? All your growth, all your work has not been to lead you away from your passions, to turn you into a robot. It has been to bring you back to life, to put you in touch with the vital energy of the universe, an energy that permeates all that is, an energy that permeates you. Honor your passion by honoring your emotions. Feeling your emotions releases passion into life. Feel them all. Then you will know what you like, what instills passion in you. Once you know and can recognize that, you'll know which direction to go. Expressing passion and gratitude will guide your life. Say it again and again. Say it until you believe it. Say it until you live it. Expressing passion and gratitude will guide your life. We have just a few more minutes. Stay with it. Stay with your breath. Let's change our mantra to calm and ease. Inhale, use the word calm. Exhale, use the word ease. Breathe all the way into the calm and breathe all the way out for the ease. Take a big breath into your nose now. Exhale out of your mouth with the sound of a sigh. Ah, that's so reliable, isn't it? That breath. Inhale through the nose and sigh it out, and it's just a release. It's a cleansing, it's a release. So use that one. Try it one more time. Use that as part of your toolkit. It's reliable. Feet come back to the floor. Come away from the backrest now, so you're sitting upright and you can feel the length and strength of your spine. I want you to breathe in and out from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head and back to the tailbone. So let's realign with the central channel. Let the breath flow through that central channel for a couple more full breaths in and out. Feel how that just feels like you're tracing your spine, you're tracing the energy channel right up through this core of your body. There's such a deep awareness of self. Beautiful place to be. Good. Well, let's close out our practice as we typically do. We're going to sync up our breath. Inhale with me as palms come together overhead. Exhale, bow at your heart, bow to yourself. Inhale back up and exhale now. Let's share this beautiful, peaceful, loving energy with our communities. Hands come to the prayer position. We bow to ourselves. We bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thank you so much for joining me.